Welcome to the instructional program for the Owens Corning Atticat Expanding Blown-In Insulation System. This program is designed to give you a comprehensive tool to demonstrate the complete Atticat system. We'll watch a team of contractors as they use the Atticat system to insulate a customer's home. Carefully remove the machine from your vehicle. You will be supplied with sufficient blowing hose to run the machine from the driveway. If you dismantled the machine to transport it, you simply need to reattach the top portion to the bottom and lock it into place. The machine will not operate unless the top and bottom are properly aligned. Before you start, examine the attic to be sure it is adequately ventilated. Owens Corning recommends a minimum of 1 square foot of venting for every 150 square feet of space to be insulated. Install a rigid barrier around the attic access opening to prevent insulation from falling out when you open the attic door. Owens Corning Foamular rigid foam insulation, cardboard, or lumber is recommended. Be sure the barrier is taller than the thickness of the insulation that you plan to install. Do not block eave ventings or soffit vents with insulation. Use vent baffles such as Owens Corning Raft-Armate attic vents or equivalent between eave vents and attic to ensure airflow. Install cardboard baffling around heat-generating sources such as non-IC can lights or flues or metal chimneys. Keep cardboard and insulation at least 3 inches from heat sources. Inspect any ductwork in the attic and make sure all connections are sound. If necessary, seal duct joints prior to installing insulation. Keep the Atticat machine outside of the house or in the garage. Lay drop cloths in the house and protect corners with cardboard or other material along the path of the hose to protect walls, floors, and other surfaces. Using a staple gun, install Atticat rulers on joists, roof trusses, or vertical framing to determine how much insulation you will need. Install 1 per every 10 feet so that they're clearly visible. Run the hose into the attic. Extend enough hose to reach the furthest point in the attic. Note that the Atticat machine projects insulation a distance of approximately 8 to 10 feet. For your safety, please pay attention to these cautions and warnings. The Atticat system has many safety features for your protection. When working in the attic, walk only on the ceiling rafters or joists and not on the ceiling. You can also place a piece of plywood or particle board over the joist to walk across in the attic. Be careful of overhead obstructions and nails penetrating through the roof deck. Maintain a minimum clearance of 3 inches around any heat-generating sources in the attic. If a light fixture is labeled IC rated, it is then safe to blow insulation over it. Keep hands and tools away from any moving parts. Do not remove the top of the machine while it's in operation. If you attempt to do this, it will stop operating immediately. The Atticat also has a main power switch that gives the machine operator the opportunity to turn the machine off at any time. Do not force insulation into the machine. Feed 1/2 bags at a time and let the machine do the work for you to avoid jams. Do not attempt to clean the Atticat machine or hose until the machine is completely off and the extension cord is disconnected. Never operate the Atticat machine if it or the operator is standing in water. Serious injury could result. Plug the extension cord into the Atticat machine. Connect to a standard 110-volt electrical outlet. Turn the main power switch on, and the white power light will illuminate. The machine can now be operated from the remote. Connect hose to the machine. When ready for the flow of insulation, the installer in the attic will press the green button on the remote located on the hose. The machine's blower will start, and after a few seconds, the agitators will begin to rotate. The machine may be stopped by either the attic installer or by the machine operator by pressing the red stop button on either the remote or the machine. Using a knife, cut a bag of insulation along the cut line. Break the package in half. The machine's feeder is specifically designed to accommodate a half bag of Atticat pink fiberglass blown-in insulation. Hold the half bag by the end flaps and insert the cut end into the machine. Push a half bag completely into the feeder until it stops. The built-in auto cutter will cut the plastic packaging, thereby releasing insulation into the machine. It is important you remove the packaging because it may clog the machine and should be removed once a half bag has released. Do not attempt to forcefully push or hand feed loose insulation down into the machine. Add another half bag of insulation once the machine feeder is emptied and the agitator paddles can be seen through the window. You can now turn the machine on and notify the installer in the attic that they can begin to blow the insulation. To stop the flow of insulation at any time, press the stop button on the remote. This will stop the Atticat machine. Direct the hose toward the eaves and begin by blowing insulation at the point furthest from the attic opening. Insulation should flow out of the hose and fall onto the surface 8 to 10 feet away. As each attic section is filled, move slowly backward toward the attic opening. Repeat this process until the attic is fully insulated. Ensure eave vents and heat-generating fixtures are not covered with insulation. When you're close to the attic opening, use a gloved hand to deflect the insulation downward. Please note that Owens Corning shall not be responsible for any injury, damage, loss, cost, expense, or liability relating to failure to follow these instructions. Failure to follow these instructions may affect Owens Corning's obligation under the product's limited warranty. When the job is complete, the attic should have a flat layer of insulation throughout. All of the bags calculated should have been used. This ensures that you are getting the R value intended. You will need to staple a piece of batt over the top of the access hole and then position the cover back into place. You can also use an Owens Corning pink cap to properly close off the attic. Before leaving the attic, you will need to staple the insulation certificate near the access hole to show how many bags of Atticat expanding pink fiberglass insulation were used. By following these instructions, you will find insulating attics with the Owens Corning Atticat expanding blown-in insulation system is an excellent opportunity to increase sales by offering additional services to your customers. Your efforts will reward the homeowner with a more energy-efficient and comfortable home for many years to come. And it will be a valuable tool in growing your company's services and sales.